In addition to a background in law, government and not-for-profit, Tracy McLeod Howe has been a long-term human rights activist, especially with regards to children. She shares with us the importance of government working together with community on the issues of domestic violence. Well, thank you first of all.
Thank you.
Although you've done work that's similar to White Ribbon in some sense as CEO and some of the domains, but what particularly with this role gave you gravitas or goosebumps to take it on?
It's one of those roles. What's very exciting actually about White Ribbon is it's mobilising men and boys and whole communities. So in the first instance, it's a male-led campaign. It's a male-led call to action. And for me, that's where the answer is to eradicating violence against women and their kids. Because there's so many good men who want to be involved in this, and I love that.
I think it's awesome that you say that, because it's not just changing men's mindsets today, it's changing their mindsets to change their sons' mindsets.
Oh, it is cyclic. It is this whole generational cycle. What I bring to not-for-profit sector particularly is that knowledge of how to manage the government relations and other types of stakeholders in business. For White Ribbon particularly, I have a very strong connection to the women's sector, which is a really important piece of the puzzle. So I'm working now with the men's response and where you're actually mobilising men to make change. When my career has expanded to have the level of CEO, I have to often miss things. I miss those milestones. I often don't, participate in their lives as much as I want to, and I do often worry, is that something that I will regret later? Do they feel bad? Our core issue is around men's responses to violence against women, and that men take a stand and that men lead the charge to make this something that doesn't happen anymore, and that we break that cycle. I find it so exciting that I think it can happen. I think we can start to move the needle actually. So for me, it underpins everything. And in fact, coming to White Ribbon, what I've said to the team is we need to actually embed strategy, stakeholder relationships and innovative thought and space in every single role.
Brilliant.
So for me it's for someone who picks up the phone or who let you in the door here. It's for that amazing woman there right through to the person who's in a leadership role with a team of 20. We all have to be thinking innovatively because this world is moving fast and everything that we do is being disrupted.
How do you maintain a culture?
Giving people some autonomy and authority, being transparent about what's going on in the organisation, allowing people to grow and stretch within a role, asking for advice at all levels of the organisation so that there's a sense that often there's hierarchies because there has to be just to manage things, but that everyone at every level feels like at some point they're being heard. So that culture, I think, breeds a sense of camaraderie and loyalty and team bonding in a way. But I had a view that not-for-profit and corporate were two quite distinct and different beasts. What I know now is that there are more similarities than differences. You're running an organisation in order to be sustainable, in order to be able to push to change and move the needle for the issue that your organisation is charged with dealing with. I have to be able to know I can pay the wages, that I have time to strategise in order that we can deliver. Collective impact at the grassroots community level is where change actually occurs, not shoehorning some head office approach or a central office approach into communities. Because every school is different, every workplace is different, and if you look at a community, they're going to have a different nuance and need. $10 million, get it out in the communities.
What biggest change would you seek for the government to make to support White Ribbon's cause?
The issue is to actually have the next piece of the leap of faith, I suppose, because it goes longer than an election cycle, is to implement all the pieces of that, which includes supporting men who perpetrate violence, supporting kids who are victims of violence, more up that crisis end in order to make sure women who are leaving have somewhere to go and they are safe. It will take some dollars, but it will also take leadership around saying we're going to back this in the long term from both sides of politics.
We're going to do this. Great objective.
If only. And then you could say, come election, whoever gets in, We're not going to dismantle that or poo-poo this. This is something we agreed on. Violence against women and kids, we can change it today, and we're going to do it together. We need all parts of the community to check in and show up for this issue. That's what I see as the way that we will move this forward. Just leaders and community to young men and boys is where the change will happen, because if they say this is what a man is like, this is, you know, it's not a toxic version of masculinity. Masculinity is about love and equality and fairness and being respectful of women and girls. When you see that, then that's what you model back.
Yeah.
So it is a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, and we've got to address all bits of it.
Yeah, I think that's really hugely important to the fabric of our country. So
yes.
I think fantastic.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers. That was excellent.
Thanks.